words. Al yitain lamoit raglecha al yonum shomrecha. Hine la yonum v'la yishon shomei Yisrael. Adonai shomrecha, Adonai tilcha al yad yaminecha. Yoimam Hashemesh lo yakekov yoreach balayla. Adonai yishmocha mikora yishmer es nafshecha. Adonai yishmer tzezcha uvayecha me'ata v'ad olam. Friends, we pray for the injured and for all those of our community and beyond who are suffering from this heinous event. And we also remember Adrian and Melvin, two truly wonderful, special men whose lives were so truly snatched from them as they tried to pray as Jews on the holiest day of the year, on Yom Kippur. I'm going to recite for them the memorial prayer. El molei rachamim shoichein b'meroimim hamtzei menucha mechain al kanfei shechina v'malois kadoshim u'tahirim kezaya harakia mazhirim Es nishmois Avraham Yaakov ben David ben Sion v'mei Eliezer ben Binyamin sholchu li'olamam bavo shonu mispalim b'razkos nishmosam v'gan eden tei menuchasam lochem balarachamim yasvei mitez kanafav lo'olamim v'yitzoi b'tochaimis nishmosehem Adonai unachlosam v'yanuchu b'shalom mishkavam v'noimar Amen. Please now join me in a moment of silence. Avinu Malkeinu, our Father, our King, Shlach, Refuah Shalem, Malachai Amecha. Send a complete recovery to those unwell. Yehei, Zichram, Baruch, may their memory be for a blessing. Now I'd like to introduce Mr. Mark Adelstone, OBE, the Chairman of the JLC.
Thank you, Rabbi Daniel. I can't imagine how you're feeling, what that was like, and what you've gone through. So, ladies and gentlemen, like you, I'm still shell-shocked by what happened yesterday, but as chair of the Jewish Representative Council, I know that our community is looking for two things: leadership and hope. So we are blessed to have various MPs and civic dignitaries here, and in particular I want to highlight Minister Alex Davis-Jones. Thank you so much for being with us, and many of you. Thank you to Keith Black and Louise Jacobs from the JLC and Phil Rosenberg from the Board of Deputies for joining us again from London and giving us your support. We grieve for the losses of Adrian and Melvin and we pray for the recovery of Yoni and Andrew and Bernard. We feel the comfort and the support of the wider non-Jewish world. We know that the silent majority is throwing its arms around us in sympathy and in support. Greater Manchester Police and the emergency services have been outstanding. Our civic leaders, yes, thank you. I see our chief over here. Thank you for being with us. Chief Constable Sir Stephen Watson. Our civic leaders and politicians have been incredibly supportive, as evidenced by the turnout today. And we really do appreciate this support. It gives us strength. And yet, there is so much more that needs to be done if the deaths of these two poor souls are to mean anything. Change needs to happen. And I see right in front of me a sign saying, "No more words, we demand action." So our challenge to, and our demand of, our political leaders, including the Deputy Prime Minister, who is here with us today, is to stop this hateful narrative, to stem this at its rotten core. The conflation of anti-Zionism and Jew hatred cannot be allowed to continue. No longer can people claim to be anti-Zionist and yet not Jew haters. We can no longer appease the extremists in this country, especially those of the far left and radical Islamists. We have to stop the Palestinian marches being a glorification of the death of Jews. As it was yesterday, unbelievable, on the day of those two deaths. Now, half of the marchers are certainly marching for humanitarian reasons, but half are not. And we need to focus on the half that are not. We have to ban the phrase, globalize the Intifada. We have to tackle those people who are teaching and spreading hatred in places of worship. We have to tackle the university campuses and the NHS, where Jewish students and workers and patients are made to feel vulnerable by there being a proliferation of pro-Palestinian badges. We have to root out the evil ideology, but not with hatred, not hatred from our side. Words matter. Words lead to hate, and hate leads to the tragedy we endured yesterday. We cannot continue to allow a war being waged over 2,500 miles away to bleed onto our streets. We look to our politicians to make diversity beautiful by insisting on real integration, where communities contribute to the overall good of the country and don't continue to look inwardly, staying rooted within their own narrow worlds. We are proud British Mancunian Jews who have contributed to this country for over 150 years. We love Manchester, and we love this country, and we proudly wave the Union Jack. Are those who are against us also proud of being British? Which flag do they wave? This is our challenge to our political leaders who are here on the stage with us today. So therefore, I have great pleasure in introducing our Deputy Prime Minister, David Lammy, and before I do, please, we know how we all feel. We know how we all feel.
Go to Palestine! Shame on you! Shame on you! Go to Palestine! Leave us alone!
They've allowed it to work on the campus. My children's school was closed today. You have allowed this to happen.
You have blood on your hands!
You're all guilty of it all. You have allowed Jew hatred in Manchester on the street. You have allowed it. You are all guilty. We do not want you speaking here today. You do not speak here. Do not speak in this room. We do not want you speaking. Shame on you. Shame on you.
Shame on you! Shame on you!
Shame on you.
Enough!
Empty words. We want action.
Okay, all right, we've heard enough. We've heard enough. We've heard enough. We know how you feel. I know how I feel. Let's give the time for our Deputy Prime Minister to address us. David Lammy.
Friends, we must stand together today. We must stand in grief, in solidarity and in defiance. Grief for the innocent lives that were taken so cruelly, senseless murders carried out on Yom Kippur, the holiest day in the Jewish year. Grief that causes so much pain and so much suffering. Today, our hearts, our thoughts, our prayers must be with the families and those who were killed. And of course with this community, this Jewish community, both here in Manchester and at Heaton Park Synagogue. Right across our nation, and as the Member of Parliament for Tottenham, I know the suffering in Crumpsall is the same as the pain, the worry and the frightened faces in my own constituency and in the area of Stamford Hill, one of the historic homes of the Jewish community in this country. In that sense, London and Manchester are twin communities, grieving as one, and the whole nation is with them. That's why we stand in solidarity with the Jewish people, because an attack like this is never felt alone. Wherever you are in our country, Jewish people, our friends, our neighbours, our loved ones, are terrified by the events of yesterday, of becoming targets, victims of anti-Semitic hate, simply for who they are. But I know this about Britain's Jewish community, a community I have known all of my life. You are strong. You are resilient, and you will never be cowed. And that's what I want you to know today. That our country, those of all colours, all faiths and none, stand with you. We stand with you against terrorism. We stand with you against those who think bombs and blasts will break us. We stand against all those who would minimise or coddle or obfuscate on anti-Jewish hate. We know terrorism in this country. We know it, of course, in this city. We saw it at the arena. And we have seen it in Heaton Park. We all know terrorism. we all feel terrorism. My best friend from childhood, James Adams, was blown to smithereens in the 7/7 bombings. And I vow to you, every Christian, every Muslim, every Jew, every Mancunian, every Brit, we will never stop fighting it. That is why we stand in defiance of those terrorists who seek to divide us, who want to pit neighbour against neighbour, to weaken the bonds that bind us together as one nation, one people, one united kingdom.
Please, let the Deputy Prime Minister speak, please.
Every Saturday.
Please.
We cannot, we must not let them divide us. We must show them who we really are, not what they want us to become or to believe, but Britain's true nature, a tolerant nation, built on mutual respect, common understanding, where people live not in fear.
Empty words, we want action.
But in freedom, that is who we are. That is who we will always be. And it cannot be eroded by violence. It cannot be erased by vile acts, such as those carried out here yesterday. I want to close with this thought. When I have lost loved ones in the past, Jewish friends have often used a phrase to comfort me. May their memory be a blessing. Nothing will ever take away the pain of what happened here, but how we respond now, how we stand together, yes, in grief and in solidarity, but also in defiance and a shared mission against terror in the name of us all. That response honours those we have lost. May their memory be a blessing, not just to their families, not just to the Jewish community, but to our entire nation always. And for those that are considering marching over the weekend, I ask them to reflect with all human dignity, grace and understanding, and to stop and to stand back. Thank you.
They call for us down in the park. Walk past the university Sunday.
You do not want to live here anymore. Thank you from a proud.
Okay, our next speaker is the leader of Manchester City Council, Bev Craig.
Friends, I'm not going to stand here with our Mayor of Grace in Manchester and speak at length with empty words. I just want you to know this. What we saw yesterday, an attack on the streets of our city that attacked Jews for being Jews on the holiest day, we will fight that and we will stand against that. And I need you to know our thoughts are with those who have lost loved ones, those who have been injured, their family, their friends and their community. We will take from this the strength that we hear in front of us today, but know this, and this is an important and powerful message about our city. Our city has been made great by the generations that have built the Manchester that we know and we love today. Our Jewish residents, over generations, have built this city that we see. An attack on you is an attack on all of us, and we will not stand for it. We must change, we must do differently. So here today, not just words, but a commitment to action. We will be open to meeting with every single one of you that wants to hear from us. We were here to listen, we're not here to lecture. This is about our city healing. This is about us saying a terrorist attack on the streets of Manchester attacks us all. It attacks our diversity, it attacks our democracy, and it attacks who we are as a very essence. We stand with you, we love you, we support you, and we want to hear from you. So that's all that I have to say today, but thank you for coming today in the room.
This was an appalling anti-Semitic attack on our Jewish friends and neighbours, and we are here today because, as Bev said, we care about you, we love you, we value what you have given to Greater Manchester over the years. An attack on one of us is an attack on all of us. That is the permanent principle, the firm foundation on which this city region has been built by you, by us, by everyone here over centuries. That is who we are. And we will not let this break us in any way, shape or form. I salute the strength of our Jewish community. I visit the Jewish community with colleagues behind me all the time.
Sorry, excuse me.
I salute the power of all of your community organisations, and let me say something about the Community Security Trust. The people who mobilised yesterday morning, the minute the call came, those who stood there behind the door, preventing what could have been something much worse. A community that is strong and supports each other, that has each other's backs. But can I say to you, we have your back too. That is us. That is Greater Manchester, and will always be that way. But we also should say thank you today to our emergency services who are there in your hour of need, in our hour of need. The fire service who were on site and supported, the ambulance service, but of course Greater Manchester Police, whose officers showed exemplary courage in dealing with the situation before them. And I would like you actually to now welcome the Chief Constable of Greater Manchester Police, who leads our police force so brilliantly, to address you all. Thank you.
Good on you, Andy.
Good afternoon. It is, for me and all of my officers, a source of profound regret that once again, in the immediate aftermath of yet another anti-Semitic terrorist atrocity on our streets, that we come together to stand in solidarity with those who mourn. I can pledge to you that GMP are with you as one in continuing relentlessly, professionally, ruthlessly, all of those who would harm our Jewish community and other communities across Greater Manchester, where hate is the originator of their intent. I echo the Mayor's, I think, very justified praise of the CST, who are a brilliant example and I reference the CST specifically because they are the embodiment of our mutual determination to keep our communities safe, and for you to have your absolute God-given right to live your Jewish lives as you are entitled to do in our country. And lastly, I too would reflect upon the fact that we, in mourning those who have lost their lives are literally reflecting upon people who gave their lives in the very act of protecting the lives of others. There can be no greater sacrifice, and our thoughts and prayers are with them, their families, and all of you. God bless you.
Thank you. For me, it was as an 11-year-old schoolboy in Manchester I discovered that the Jewish boys in my class, who were probably about between 10 and 20% of us, were just the same as me. The only main difference was that on a Friday afternoon in winter they got to miss the last lesson and go home early. I learned then that the common humanity that binds us together is more important than any differences that we have, and I've sought to live that out ever since, not least in my 12 years now as Bishop of Manchester. Today, the heavens are weeping with us, typical Manchester weather. And we, whatever background we come from, whatever faith we represent or none, we too are weeping with our Jewish sisters and our Jewish brothers. And we do pledge ourselves to action. And that action will often be quite small actions, just the way we put our arms around each other, just the way we greet each other, just the way we take the effort to understand each other's lives and to respect each other's traditions. Those are the small acts of love that matter, because, as I've said so many times over this last 24 hours, hate will never defeat hate. Only love will defeat hate. That's what I pledge myself to today. That's what I know the faith communities of Greater Manchester pledge themselves there to. I hope that we all pledge ourselves to that as well today. God bless you all.
Thank you, Bishop. I want to add my thanks to the thanks that have already been given. Thanks on behalf of our community, the Heaton Park community, and all the wider Jewish community. I want to say thank you again to those special and heroic men who stopped that terrorist getting into my shul and stopped much worse things happening. I want to say thank you to the emergency services, first of all to the police, who came to our aid at the time of our greatest need, who were there for us, for the fire service, for the ambulance service, those who tended to the wounded, to all those who have helped us and supported us through this most terrible and darkest of times. I want to say thank you to all of the dignitaries here and all of their kind words, and I want to say thank you to you, to all of you who have come out today to show your support. Thank you from the very bottom of the Heaton Park Shul heart. As Bishop Walker said, the skies are weeping, and right they may. Because yesterday, evil and darkness stalked the roads of Manchester, stalked the steps of my shul, and brought death and sorrow and injury. And that demands a response. It demands a political response and a practical response. But I think it demands, as Bishop Walker said, a spiritual response as well. My friends, my community members, Adrian and Melvin, died as Jews, for being Jews. And so I beg all of the Jewish community here to please strengthen not the opposite, but strengthen your lives as Jews. The only way to defeat darkness, the only way to defeat unholiness is with goodness. I beg you today, Erev Shabbos, to please give a little bit of charity, to make sure you light Shabbos candles, and perhaps most significantly, that murderer tried to shut down our shul. He shut down the shul building, but he didn't shut down our prayers. We did all the prayers of Yom Kippur, and we continued this morning with Shachris, and we're going to continue over Shabbos, because he will not stop us from connecting to our Father in heaven. And so I ask you, please, daven, go to shul, show your strength and your pride, and let us show that we are not cowed. As Jews, we always rebuild, we always recover, we always return stronger, and that is what we will do. And to all of our friends, all of our non-Jewish friends here of all faiths and none, I thank you on behalf of all of our community for your support at this most critical of times. We needed your warm embrace, and we're grateful for it, because we know we are not alone. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Wish you a good Shabbos and a Shabbat Shalom, a peaceful Shabbos for you and your families, for all of Am Yisrael, and indeed for all of the world. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. That concludes the service.
And for the first term in Mrs. Feingold's class, I saw you, Elise. Give me on. It's also 15, 25, 24 years. Yes, 2000 and... What was after 9/11?
If you're with Danny, you win.
Hi, sorry, I'm
Anybody with Danny win.
Ellie, I'll find you on Facebook.
How you doing?
Doing alright. Somewhere
Just come in as much there, if that's okay. If that's the... You just look at me if that's okay. Amazing. Let's get your name first of all.
My name's Ellie Corn.
So first of all, how impactful has today been for you?
Today's been incredibly impactful. It's been healing, cathartic. I spent all of yesterday in shock. I was woken up and realised I was actually late to Synagogue as I heard the sirens, and I was rushing to get ready when more sirens came. And by the time I was walking on the door, it was over. That was my synagogue shut, and my community hurt. And if I hadn't, it was like God hadn't made me go to sleep that day, I would probably have been there. And it's a miracle that I wasn't there, that my family wasn't there. So many people I know had one thing or another. My friends were going to be there, their child wasn't feeling well and running away. Just so many miraculous stories of people being saved from that. And the horror of knowing that you almost be or almost be in your family sticks with you. And seeing the community, all the communities come together has been really quite nice actually, really quite lovely. And yeah, I've